Another really good week. I was really pleased with our effort level these 3 days. We were on the field about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes less each day because we had gotten some work in last week than we were the Oklahoma State week, and yet our player load was actually higher, which tells us that our guys are fresh and that they were practicing really hard. And I was very pleased with that. Had a really good Thursday practice to end the week as well. Injury update, really nothing different than Monday. I don't know what I told you about BJ, but we're planning on him playing and starting. Colin is a game time decision. He'll travel, and we'll see how he feels throughout the next 48 hours. And then obviously Josh Thompson, Jalen Green, and Caden Stearns and Jordan Whittington will not make the trip. We can only travel 70 guys in Big 12 conference games, so those guys will get some extra treatment on Saturday, and then hopefully within a week or two. Oh, and DeMarvion. I'm not sure if DeMarvion's traveling. I'll find that out later today, but I would put him as doubtful as of right now.
What about Brennan?
Questions?
Looked like Brennan had a cast on his hand today.
Brennan
Eagles?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
If Colin is able to play, would he be full go, let him do it, or would you guys kind of ease him back into it?
No, I think we're not going to let him go unless he's 100%, because we don't want this thing to continue to nag him. So we'll play it by ear, and a lot of it's going to be how he feels, and he knows his body. And but if he says, "Coach, I can go," and I'm the Colin that I was pre-injury, then we'll play him a bunch.
Is there any fear that it might be more serious because of how long it's taken, or is this like
No, it's very, very normal. In fact, maybe if he plays this week, probably ahead of schedule for especially having the PRP shot. The PRP shot, the way it's been explained to me, kind of sets you back a little bit short term, but really helps ensure that when it does heal, it's healed properly and healed to the point where shouldn't be an issue moving forward.
Are you happy when you talk about you did the monitoring that it's not just a big game that your guys are getting up for, but it's just, as you're 1-0, just a weekly opponent, Big 12, that these guys are seem to be up for that?
Yeah. I've told you guys before, the kind of the quote big games, we always seem to jack those monitors up pretty good, and so it was good to see the intensity level of practice. I think people want to talk about some of the young guys on this team, but there's a lot of veterans that have played a lot of football around here, and I think they understand how difficult it is to win on the road, especially in this conference where parity is so evident, from top to bottom in this league, and they know that if you're going to win a championship, you got to win road games, and and they're not easy to win, and so every game's a big game, and it was pleasing to see the effort level.
How do you handle the fact that this is y'all's first plane trip, 1,000-mile trip, and even first time for maybe some guys getting on a plane and taking a trip like that?
You just try to educate them. There's nothing magical you can do. We talked Sunday about that the routine throughout the week. I think that's a big part of why, teams started to, and now it's pretty much all across the country, go to a hotel even at home. You want them to experience some semblance of sleeping in a hotel bed, having to get up and do walkthroughs in the hotel ballroom, stuff like that. And so, we had to do that. The only difference is, that's the only difference in this game as opposed to getting on a bus and going to Houston is going to be the crowd. They've got a great fan base. We respect the heck out of them. But these guys have gone to an unfamiliar hotel. They've played in an unfamiliar stadium in NRG, and so the biggest difference. Well, and the time of the game. We've really tried to educate them. That your Saturday routine is going to be compressed a little bit. We've had. Thankfully, the TV networks have thought us worthy of having 4 straight primetime games. So that'll be a bit of an adjustment. But again, the older guys are doing a really good job leading some of these younger guys. I don't foresee it being an issue.
The last time you guys went to West Virginia, one of the lasting images is Connor Williams dancing on the sideline because you guys became bowl eligible, and I remember you said it was kind of a gee whiz moment for you with where this team was at that point, where they're celebrating like that to just hit 6 wins. Where you are now seems like that was decades ago, not just a couple years. What kind of
Tell me about it.
what kind of growth have you seen from this team from that point where you're just thinking like you just won your 6th game to now where you're four games in, and it seems like
obviously our definition of success has changed. Our expectation level has changed, and they should have celebrated that. I mean, we're talking about 3 straight losing seasons that we were coming off of. That's a major step, and should have been celebrated. But in our program's development as of now, that's obviously an expectation of ours is to go to a really good bowl game each and every year and to compete for championships. And I think nobody on this team would ever say they'd be satisfied with 6 wins.
Would you like to get all 4 of your running backs involved this weekend now that you guys have Kirk and Danny healthy, or kind of still want to go with the 2, Keontae?
No, yeah, I think Keontae and Roshan have earned the right to carry the bulk of the load. We'll see how they're doing. I think a lot depends on, in the game. Keontae admittedly didn't have his best game against LSU, and we played Roshan the whole second half or 4th quarter. And so, you want those guys to be able to get in a rhythm too, and they've earned the right. But if we need to, if there's we're not having our best game at either one of those spots, then we know we've got 2 really capable guys to go in.
Yesterday, Todd said that you were going to play all 4 corners. Does that mean is that Kenyatta would be the 4th one in addition to? Who would those 4 corners?
Yeah, it would be Kenyatta / Donovan Duvernay. Yeah, but definitely Deshaun, Anthony, and Kobe. But yeah, we're expecting to play Kenyatta, but again, I don't ever want to tell you how much or when, because you don't ever want to lie to kids. So the plan is to play him, but we'll obviously have to see how the game's going.
What's the biggest
Got time for
adjustment
2
been
last
for him,
ones?
for Kenyatta?
The biggest what?
The biggest adjustment for Kenyatta.
Oh, speed of the game, and the physical expectation of that position. It's there's a lot of high schools that, hey, you go cover this guy for 4 quarters and we'll give you your pizza post game. Where around here you gotta support the run game. You gotta go up and make tackles and be really physical. Not that he can't or won't. It's just doing that play after play after play is certainly a bit of an adjustment for him.
What kind of advantage has your early enrollees over the past few years? What kind of advantage do you think they've had as far as their maturation process compared to maybe guys who just end up showing up in the summertime?
Oh, light years. I don't think BJ and Caden would have had the freshman year they had last year, and obviously Roshan and Jordan Whittington and Tyler Owens is playing quite a bit. Or no, Tyler was a late guy. I'm trying to think of, but even the guys that were planning on redshirting, the Peter Pudgies and the Tyler Johnson. I mean, you look at those guys and it's you're just so thankful that they've had that winter workout and spring practice under their belt, they're just so much farther along in their development. So, and it's not to say that you have to do that to play as a freshman. Certainly, Tyler and Jake Smith is certainly an example of that. But it really accelerates just so many things. Your adjustment to college, your adjustment to time management, your adjustment to the intensities of workouts, your adjustment to the speed of the game through spring practice, and so it's invaluable when it comes to that kind of experience.